you've been told that it's emotion that makes the sale, but what does that really mean? Like, if you're told that you need to sell with emotion, how do you actually do that, right? So if you are in sales, if you're in copywriting, if you're in advertising or marketing, whatever, we're always taught this lesson that it's that people make buying decisions based on emotion, and then they justify it with logic, and that goes beyond sales, but we're talking about sales. We're talking about making sales. We're talking about whatever product or service it is that we're trying to buy or we're trying to sell, getting someone to buy that and stimulating whatever feeling inside it's going to take to move them to the purchase. So my name is Roy Furr. This is a video issue of Breakthrough Marketing Secrets, and I want to talk to you about the actual how of this. This actually starts, my idea for this video came out of a copy review that I had yesterday. Now, this particular copy, I knew that this guy could write great copy, emotional copy that that really captured the feelings that his prospects were going through, but this particular piece of copy really wasn't doing it yet. And so I started to talk to him, and I asked him about a client story. And when I hear this story, it's a medical situation, and he was telling the story of this woman that like comes into the clinic visibly in pain, like visibly suffering, and he was able to help her. He was able to help her in a big way. And I don't want to give away his business, and that's not quite the relevant point, but this story, this really like impactful, emotional, powerful story that he had wasn't anywhere to be found in the copy. Like, he was going to insert the testimonial near the bottom of the page, and that was going to be that. And what I did with him on the phone during the course of this copy review was I actually said, okay, well, tell me that story. And I'm sitting there with the document open, I'm sharing my screen, and I just start to type, and we're talking through it, and I'm asking him for details. And maybe it ended up being like a page of copy. And normally I don't really like to do that in the copy reviews. I like to let you write your own copy, right? But in this particular case, like there was this barrier, this resistance to putting the story in the copy. And I said, no, let's open up with this and let's see what happens. And so we told this story. We told the story of this person that was suffering this pain, and they were visibly suffering, and we were able to put in the physical details of what it was like as they came in. And then we were actually able to use their words, because there's a testimonial tied to this. We were actually able to use their words to talk about the transformation that happened and the positive outcome that they got. And essentially when we did this, when we told this story this way, that there was this problem and how agitating the problem was, how much pain there was, and how they'd actually gone through trying to solve the problem through other providers, and other solutions that had been tried were invalid. And then they found my client, and they got the healing that they were looking for. They found the actual solution. And at this point, like, we've laid out that arc in this really short story. And that arc that I just used is actually talked about in my book, The Ultimate Selling Story. It's problem, agitate, invalidate, solve, ask. The client had a problem. We experienced the emotional agitation around that problem. And then we look at other solutions, but the other solutions have been invalid. And then we actually present a solution. And then at that point, you ask for the sale, right? So that's the arc. That's the arc. You're giving someone the action to take at the end. And we told a condensed version of that in the first page or so of copy. And this is very much in line also with the principles of my story selling masterclass, that you capture someone's emotion with this story arc of having the problem, of experiencing the emotional agitation, of the invalid solutions that you go through trying to find an answer. and then actually finding a solution and having like clarity around what that solution is, and then having action that you can take to move forward. And you tell that story, and you can either tell that, in some cases you're the inventor of the product because you dealt with that story. You went through that story, right? In some cases, you're telling the client's story. Like, here's the problem they faced. Here's why it was so agitating. Here's how they tried other solutions and found that they were invalid. Here's the solution that actually worked for them. And here's the action to take. And we put that story at the top of the copy. Now, it hasn't been tested. I'm not going to go into too much detail here, but we put that story at the top of the copy and essentially created this arc. There's this hell that people are going through when they come into the clinic, or when they come into your business, or whatever. There's this terrible situation that they would like to have changed. And the more terrible their situation is, the more urgently they will be looking for a solution, the more emotion that they're going to have. And so if you have a story that actually represents something that really does feel like hell for somebody, and then you're able to make the leap from hell to heaven in that story, and your product or your service, the offer that you're going to put in front of them is the gap, is what fills that gap, is what helped them make the leap from hell to heaven. Like, that's really how you capture emotion in selling. And I also have a program called Emotional Direct Response Copywriting that talks about this, that talks about the negative emotions that really motivate people to make buying decisions. And if you can really hone in on what those negative emotions are and get them to recognize that they don't have to continue feeling those negative emotions, that there is a solution out there for them, that even if they've tried everything, there may still be something else that's going to get them the result that they want. Well, that's how you use emotion in selling, whether you're doing, a sales letter on page, whether you are doing videos or webinars or whatever, like whatever media you're going to put your selling message into, or if you're speaking one-on-one with a client, if you're actually able to, if you have a few of those selling stories that you've really laid out and identified as your core selling stories, and you're able to actually talk to a client about this, you're actually able to say, hey, listen, I've helped people like you who've been facing the same problem, who've felt the agitation that you're feeling, who've felt like they've gone through every other solution out there, but they feel like everything just comes up invalid. Everything comes up a little bit short. But I have the solution, and here's what it is. Here's why this solution is superior to everything else you've tried. Here's what makes it different. And here's the action you can take. So if you are able to tell that story where you take someone from the hell of their problem to the heaven of the solution, then there's naturally going to be emotion in your selling message. And your prospect is going to resonate with the emotion if you tell it through story. The story is not necessarily, hey, I'm going to make this promise about these solutions that I'm going to give you. It's, hey, I know somebody who's been through the same stuff, or I've been through the same stuff. And I'll tell you what, there's hope. If you're able to do that, to represent that, we actually have, I just thought of this now. We have mirror neurons in our brain where if we're talking to somebody and they're feeling an emotion in a conversation, we actually start to feel that emotion with them. Like, our brains are wired for that we're a social species. And the same thing happens when we're listening to stories. Those mirror neurons start firing. We feel the emotion of the story that we're listening to or reading. And that pulls us in. And when you do that well, then it's very easy to then just at some points along the way say, and here's like the logic behind why what I'm telling you is completely true. Here's the logic behind why our solution is the solution to your problem. What makes it different? But you really have to start with that story, with that capturing the negative emotion of the problem that they're facing and helping them see that there is, capturing their hell and helping them see that there's a heaven that they can get to. So I've mentioned a lot of things in this video. I've mentioned the copy review. I've mentioned Ultimate Selling Story, which is a very affordable book that you can get that covers the PISA formula. Talked about the Story Selling Masterclass, my emotional direct response copywriting. All of this can help you just to become a better story seller, better at capturing emotion. And so I'm going to include links to that. If you found this video valuable, if you like this content, make sure that you like the video. You can comment, share, ask questions, whatever. Share the video with other people who might find it valuable, and subscribe, because then you'll get more content like this. You can subscribe here. You can also subscribe at my website at breakthroughmarketingsecrets.com. Again, my name is Roy Furr. This is a video issue of Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. It's actually Monday through Friday. I put out content, either articles or videos about marketing, copywriting, advertising, selling, direct response, business building, entrepreneurship, success principles, and more. And if you'd like to sign up, that's at breakthroughmarketingsecrets.com. I'm on a mission to help entrepreneurs and other high achievers live a happier, healthier, more prosperous, and impactful life through marketing, through effective marketing strategies, which is really communication and storytelling, to get people to take an action that is in their best interest when you're running an ethical business. So if you'd like to join me on that mission, make sure that you subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you again in our next video issue of Breakthrough Marketing Secrets. I'll see you soon. Bye.